Jai Ma, today we are going to listen to the fourth chapter of Roaring Silence, A Kiss and a Blackmail. They say love is blind, but not blind but blinding, but not only love, but each and every jiva here are engaged in blinding each other in the name of love. But it is actually sensual infatuation. When their eyes still remain unopened and their eyes lack even the basic skill to see, they try to see, preach, establish it as the reality, what they see in the unreal Jagat, as per and according to their limited ability and reach. Like a bird trying to assert that there is no space beyond wherein it can fly. When they feel and realize the darkness around is made by their own deeds, they say yes, it was made out of ignorance. But forget about the need and necessity of unmasking or dispelling the darkness created upon their accord, and left the following generation to keep groping in the same with shame. It was when I was in my 10th class, studying in a matriculation school in a nearby town. Myself, my elder sister, we both were in the same class but the schools were different, and another girl studying in 9th class and a brother, an 8th class student. This was the group of ours, and we together made our daily walk up and down a 4 or 5 mile distance from village to school. Every day we walked together to and fro, and even used to wait at both ends for the other if anyone happens to be late by chance. Myself, a young boy of 14 or 15, good looking, white in complexion, was a bit handsome to others, and tried to be extra smart by applying burnt matchsticks on the just appearing moustache, carefully managed, which made it look little more black daily, made me little more attractive and handsome. Sometime I got scoldings from my elder sister for this type of daily makeup. During the long walking, we used to talk on subjects which sometime even unknown to us. That girl in this picture in our company had a bit of appeal in look. Towards me, she had a vulture's eye, which I noticed only few months later during one of our group daily walking together. She used to come to me in the pretext of seeking help on some homework or this or that kind of flimsy grounds. I tried to avoid her company, sensing my composure being disturbed and irritating, but it was in vain as she used to be closer by inches day by day. I started too much scared of her every presence near me. Bitch hunting was never in my nature. I do not know whether it was symptoms of love or just age crush or something other than that which she actually had towards me. It was one of the Utsav, that is the annual festival at our village temple. I was returning from temple after having darshan as a neat devoted Nambudri boy with dazzling tilak adorning my forehead. It was yet to be dark, even though the sun had set. I was passing through a narrow path between lushly green paddy fields, which are characteristic of Kerala, where both sides of the road was elevated and the road was passing like a wall lane. I saw from a distance that the girl was coming from the opposite direction, and I thought that she too may be going to temple. In such annual festivals at temples, it is time for the horny youngsters to meet and share and exchange their feelings of love. She stopped in front of me for a while and asked me to accompany her to the temple and back as it is getting dark. I told negatively and tried to move forward in my direction. She just got hold my hand with a thirsty look, and all of a sudden, without giving me a chance to think, planted a passionate kiss on my cheek. It took a minute or so for me to understand the situation. I also reciprocated out of the surge of youth and embarrassed her and thanked her with a more sophisticated kiss. As we both lacked nerves even to talk further, within a moment we separated and flown off on our own ways. After the festival, the school was resumed and our co-walking also. As the disturbance of age was allowed to enter into our hearts, a considerable change in glance and dealing had effected in our walkings together to school. Now I could see a difference in her eyes and behavior towards me. In the meantime, my uncle gave me a pen which he brought specially for me from town during his recent visit. It was a self-inking pen with a gold-plated nib. Just press on the back of the pen and dip in ink, it will get filled by itself. No extra filler required. I, with a gait, demonstrated its greatness among my friends, and this girl also tried her hand to write her name in my notebook. But somehow she lost her heart upon the impressive pen, and it seems that she had decided to possess it by any crook from me. Seeing the weakness of a human being, as she loved that insignificant pen to the extent of infatuation, and courted me to give it to her, my answer was totally negative, as I too liked it very much. For me, it was proving to be an object of dignity. From the very next day itself, she stood to employ arm-twisting tactics of milder kinds. I too took it as the exclusive efficiency of Eves to extract and distract boys. When she understood that I am also a stingy miser class apart, she came all the way down to use the exclusive weapon of fairer sex, the blackmailing. Next day, while we all were walking together, she served me the notice ultimatum to me. She told, "If you're not giving this pen to me, okay, no problem. I will tell your elder sister that you have kissed me forcibly on the Utsavam day. And I know very well that you cannot lie to your sister, and one of my friends is ready to pay witness." I was extremely afraid that if by chance she lets the cat out and the news reaches my uncle, an unmarried army man, extremely ahead of such things, what will become my plight? Moreover, I hold my sister in high esteem, and she to have a deep love for me. If this bitch let loose her tongue, lot of things of mine are at stake. The fear of being depreciated of value by my sister and uncle was eating into my peace. It was the first shock treatment I received from the nature to be extremely alert in all the dealings with women later in my life. One who do not consider dignity as a valuable object could do such things as a child's play, but for me, it is life itself from the beginning. I fell between devil and the deep sea. I was not in a position to imagine my uncle's reaction, especially after hearing the news of this kiss. And also, a sea change came into my heart was definitely noticeable, for I had a mild appreciation of her beauty previously, but now I am seeing a goblin out of her. I now in this advanced age, after careful scrutiny of things, come to believe it is to be a subtle method of teaching of the providence to erase the chances of infatuation altogether out of my heart, which is the hardest of hardest thing to be accomplished by our own effort by a sadhak. But thanks to the beauty of grace, a great feat with an insignificant jerk. But no one takes this otherwise, that I have hating heart for women, if then they will be in mistake, for my very object of upasana is verily the universal women. I worship women, not exploit them as others do. Now I tried to avoid her company from that day onwards, but it was not possible. If I go my way alone to school, my elder sister will ask me questions as why, so I was in a fix. Daily, as a rule, that girl kept reminding me about the pen. Whenever I say negatively, she, with seething blackmailing, say, I will tell your sister. One day, I was reading through the spiritual column of a newspaper a story. A vulture was flying in the sky with his bait in his mouth. Another vulture saw it. He started to fight to grab that. Both vultures fought a long fight. At last, the first one thought that because of the rotten rat in my mouth, the enemy is behind me. Then he dropped the rotten rat down. The enemy also left him in peace. This story struck me deep. Immediately, I decided to pat the object of my agony away so I could remain in peace. So finally, one day, just before final exams, I gave that pen to her and with an irrevocable warning that if she falters again, it may take her to ugly consequences to her disadvantage. Thus, I saved my image as a good boy and got the first lesson how an infatuation for a split of a second could take us to gallows. I did choose to put this down because it offered me a lesson in interpersonal relations that you should not take anybody at their face value if you want to walk the way of divinity. Mine was just a pen. We have examples, and great knights had been brought upon their knees just for infatuation. Love never blackmails, for love verily means sacrifice. Art of loving, whether a mother, father, brother, sister, or the wife, requires lot of sense of sacrifice. If you do not know that art, go in the way of compromise living, which is what the West is exporting to India, now free of cost, where Radha and Krishna are not considered as icons of love but Valentines. I respect love, support love, sponsor love, encourage love, help love, and at times redeem lovers too. But I am at loggerheads with exploiters, blackmailers of both sex. We have epics on love, temples for love, great gurus to teach love, friends who help lovers. But for us, it is a shame to take lessons from perverts like Valentines on love. Resort to our roots, know and aware of love, live for it, die for it, because it, an eternal element, worth of doing so, which only evolves in anyone into pure selfless devotion towards God and self. Who knows is the value of Atma? Who knows the worth of this human birth? Who has the self-respect only could love others? To get that lofty ideal, we must first serve the humanity selflessly for a long time, especially the deprived section of our contemporary society. It is the end of chapter 4. Guruji, Avadhoota Nadananda, is an ocean of love. One can feel the peace and calm like being in a mother's womb when in his presence. You don't have to utter a word to him, but all the oscillations of the mind come to stillness in his nearness. He is like a true mother, caring for others irrespective of their actions towards him, never looking down on downtrodden ones, and treats everyone and every being equally. Love is always beautiful. It is the people, in the name of love, show their different phases and shades. A true love is being a well-wisher for the people or being we love. A parent's love should be to guide and care, not to force parents' thoughts and wishes on kids. A partner's love should be to elevate the other while he or she elevate him or herself in their aspirations. Showing love to all around us in a selfless way will make the world best place that is filled with happiness. Again, selfless love is not about letting others take advantage, but showing love with no negative shades like self-agenda, jealousy, partiality, status, envy, etc. If you found this video helpful, please do share with your family and friends. Chapter 5 will be released next Sunday. Jai Ma.